to have some fun this Friday night. So excited to kind of kick off day 5 of our Total Technique Challenge. It has been so much fun the entire week, and we have a very special guest that's going to be coming on in about 20 minutes as well. I just cannot wait to have this conversation with her. She has been a part of our challenges in the past, and we've always gotten really, really good feedback with advice and everything. So you likely already know, but I will wait for the introduction in just a bit. So I want to congratulate you all for being here, for showing up. I know it's a Friday night, and a lot of you likely are watching the replay of this. So whether you are here live with us now or you're watching the replay, I just want to say congratulations. I'm very proud of you for sticking it out, for being here, for showing up for yourself, and really making this a priority, making yourself a priority. So if you can just go ahead in the chat, let us know where you're joining from. If you are on Facebook and you're joining us, I'm going to drop a link in here for you, and Sadie will likely drop it in, here and there as well, because we can't actually see your name, unfortunately, in the system. It just says Facebook user. So if you're joining from Facebook, click on that link, give us permission to see your name. And for everyone else that is on YouTube, you're good to go. We can see you, see your name. Hello, Malika. Hello, Melissa. Sadie is on, of course. Bree, Nikisha, UD on YouTube. And we're just really glad that you're here. Thanks for hanging out and spending your Friday with us. Really, really do appreciate you all, again, putting yourself first. And I know that it's kind of weird that I am congratulating you and thanking you for putting yourself first, but that's a big, bold move in and of itself. So a lot of times we put our goals, our dreams, our aspirations on the back burner, and we shouldn't do that, right? As we're living everyday life, we need to be leveling up in various ways, in different ways. And the way that you do that is by living in your purpose. The way that you do that is by not letting your days be on autopilot, not letting it be a Groundhog Day where every day is just the repeat of the prior day. What you need to do instead is strive to be better, do better, and show up as a better version of yourself, right? 1% improvement every single day, every single day. And what ends up happening is, in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we lose sight of who we are, we lose sight of who we want to become, and we lose sight of our goals and our dreams, and we let everyone else's priorities, take the front seat. And I am pretty confident that you all aren't doing that. So if you all understand what I'm saying, if you get what I'm saying, go ahead and throw it in the chat and just put, I am putting myself first. Type it in there, because you know what? I'm doing it right now as well. I am putting myself first. And it's, really is evident with the fact that I am here. I am in West Virginia. I am in a state that I would have never thought in a million years I'd be living in, and I am here. And that's because I decided that I wanted to put my goals and my dreams of becoming an anchor first. I have allowed, and I love y'all to death, but I have allowed my passion and my love for sideline prep and my passion and love for helping you all become professional cheerleaders and level up and become the better version of yourselves. I let that take a first priority in my life for many, many years. And I let the TV and the broadcasting be kind of like my side thing. And if I had time and if it was convenient, then I would do it. And I just decided, as life started unfolding and there were some, down moments, I realized that I needed to live my best life as well. And there was nothing out there that said that I couldn't do both. There was nothing out there that said that I couldn't pursue my goals of being an anchor woman and also help you all pursue your goals. Like, why does it have to be either or? It can be this and this. And that's the exact same thing that I want for you all as well. Most of the women that I attract into my world, and most of the gents that decide that they want to work with us, are powerful people. They're people that aren't, okay with the status quo. They're people that are juggling a lot of balls. And so there's nothing to say that you can't have your full-time job or be a full-time student and pursue professional cheer. Okay. You can do both. There's nothing to say that you can't be a mom, have a full-time job, and pursue professional cheer. The young lady that I am going to invite on in about 20 minutes is evidence of that, right? And I just want to remind you guys that if you believe that you can, and if you have that desire in your heart, and if it's something that you want, then you can do it and you can make it happen. And so the wonderful thing is that you have found Sideline Prep, because we are going to help you fast track your way to the pros. We're going to help you fast track your way to success. And so if you joined us last night, that we have officially opened up enrollment to our Approach Your Playbook program. This is the same coaching program that has over a 70% success rate of our graduates becoming semi-professional or professional cheerleaders. This is the same program that every single person that has been on with us this evening, except Jeanette, because Jeanette is actually our nutrition and fitness coach, but everyone else has been a graduate of this program, right? It's the same program that has these results, right? Where we have 15 different and sorry, I always hit the wrong button. Where we have 15 different NFL teams represented with our lovelies and our gents. It's the same program where we have 13 NBA teams represented with our lovelies and our gents. We have right now 6 different professional cheerleaders that lived in Japan when they were part of our program that are now on teams. And so again, if they can do it, then you can do it as well. And so we did open up enrollment, and we basically said, hey, if this is something that you want to do, if this is what is a goal that's in your heart, then guess what? It's possible for you, and we're here to assist and help. So Sadie is going to drop the link in the chat where if you are so inclined to go after your goals and crush them, and you want to be a part of the Approach Your Playbook program, then of course we want you to apply. We want you to be a part of the program. And so here are, just some of the lovelies and gents just from last season. Just from last season alone that are now on pro teams. The majority of these women and men that you see on the screen are graduates of the Approach Your Playbook program. So again, if they can do it, so can you. Again, more of them right here, graduates of our program that made the Baltimore Blast. And again, if they can do it, so can you. Again, more. And I can literally go on with these pictures and just, show you that these are regular people just like you, just like me. And if they're able to do it, then I know that you can do it as well. Again, here are just some of the teams that we've helped get people on. And so we want to stress to you that if it's a desire in your heart, if it's something that you want to do, then you need to go for it. And I don't want you to be a backseat driver to your own life. I want you to be in the front seat. I want you looking forward. I don't want you focusing on the rearview mirrors, worried about what happened, what you could have, would have, should have done. I want you to focus on moving forward. Okay. And the way that you focus on moving forward is by deciding what it is that you want to make of your life and going after it. It's about having a purpose. It is about knowing what you want. It is about having faith in yourself, unwavering faith in yourself, and then taking extraordinary action. Okay. And if you're ready to level up, then let's see it. Let's put it in the chat. If you're ready to level up, let's go ahead and see it. Because I want you all to remember, like, the energy that we've had over the past 5 days. I want y'all to remember that energy, and I want you to hold on to that energy, and I want you to move forward and take action based off of everything that you all have learned within our Total Technique Challenge. Because remember, we want you to be top notch in all of the technical areas of the audition process, not just technique, not just dance, not just freestyle, not just choreography, but all of the elements of the actual audition process. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry I had to go on my little rant, but I'm super excited about what's to come for all of you. Super excited that we're opening up another cohort of our Approach Your Playbook program. And if you haven't been able to figure it out, I'm just really excited to kind of get this party going and to just really make sure that we are here for you and that we are able to assist and help you in any way that you need. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive into the content, because again, I cannot wait to bring our guests on. And so I would really like to make sure that we go over, the Pro Cheer look and all of the elements that are included in your actual workbook, so that we can go ahead and dive into the conversation with our special guests. So if you can, make sure you have your piece of paper, your pen, your water, whatever it is that you need. Make sure you have your workbook right there with you, so that you can take notes. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. So here we go, guys. Grab your workbook and let's get ready. So day 5 is all about your Pro Cheer ready look, right? And so it's not enough to just have, to be able to pick up choreography faster, to know the dance, to perform well. You have to present the full package. And the full package is, yes, your dance ability, your performance, your showmanship, but it is also your appearance from head to toe. It's your physique, it's your stamina. And it's also, like we talked on day one, your interview skills, your application, the picture that you submit, all of that. So it really is a lot of things that go into being the full package. But in my opinion, I truly feel that the top two areas are your dance, showmanship, performance, flexibility, technique, all of that. And then your look, your appearance, the exterior. And remember, the interior shows through, right, on the outside. So tomorrow for our bonus session, we're going to talk about mindset, which is super important, because if you don't have the confidence and if you don't bring your mindset with you in a very positive way, then unfortunately it's going to show when you actually step on that dance floor. Okay. It's going to show on the outside. So we also want to make sure that you are top notch in your confidence and your mindset and all the things that kind of go along with that. Okay. So for this session tonight, though, we're going to talk about kind of like the exterior, right? And you know that day 3, we talked about the importance of working out and eating right and all of that, because that contributes to your exterior. It contributes to how toned you are. It contributes to your physique. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to fill in some blanks here together. So your pro-cheer look. When trying to obtain the pro-cheer look, you want to determine your body shape, your skin tone, and your skin undertone. Okay. So when you're trying to figure out what makeup to wear, what color outfit to wear, what lipstick to put on, what color hair you should, have, you can't just say, okay, purple is my favorite color, so I'm going to wear purple. Or, I really like pink because it looks really good on her, so I'm going to wear pink. What we want you to do truly is look at your individual self and figure out what colors are going to look best on you. All right. And you also have to make sure that you're taking into account your body shape, right? So someone that has broad shoulders is not going to wear the same outfit as someone who has smaller shoulders. Someone who has big hips is not going to wear the same outfit as someone who is thinner, right? So you really have to make sure that you take all of these things into consideration. You may also want to consider your hair color and your eye color, right? And it's not to say that those things have to stay exactly the same. It is to say, though, that you could take that into consideration, because what would look good on a blonde is not necessarily going to look good on a brunette. So, for example, a lot of blondes will normally gravitate towards your hot pinks or even pale pinks, some pastel pinks, right? And especially if they're tan. That's not a color that I don't wear a pale pink. It doesn't really necessarily look good and pop on my skin tone unless I'm extremely tan, right? And so I know that about my skin tones and my skin undertones, and I also know that about my hair color. So there's certain colors that are going to really make you pop. And most definitely, Lynn, I love that you mentioned that there is a science behind all of this, right? We just don't go and just pull stuff out of the closet and be like, okay, voila, here I am. There is a method to the madness. And so in our Pro-Cheer Playbook program, you actually have the opportunity to meet with a makeover coach so that that person can actually help you through that process. Okay. So right now in the comments, write down what your body shape is. And so you can see right here on the screen what the options are. And you should be able to you probably know your body. You already know kind of what shape you have. So let me know, what is your shape? Are you rectangle? Are you a pear? Are you hourglass? Are you a cone? Just kind of curious, jot it down and put it in the chat. So for me, this is an area that I kind of struggle a little bit. I'm a little bit on the rectangle side. So if you look at me straight on, I'm pretty much rectangle for the most part. Now, if you look at me from the side, you can see that I have something that pops out on the back, but from the front, I'm pretty much rectangle. And so what I'm going to wear, again, is going to be different than what someone would wear as a pear shape, hourglass shape, and a cone shape. The next thing that I want you to do is really determine your skin tone and your skin undertones. So again, like first on the left is your skin tone, and then on the right is your skin undertones. And so you really want to try to figure out if you have, for example, warmer undertones, like skin undertones, then your veins are going to be green. And actually, let's go ahead and move to the second page because this is all outlined for you on the second page, and it might help if you're looking on that page. So if you look at your wrist, so just look, right at your wrist, and you can see that my veins, hopefully you can see them, they're greenish. Okay. So I have like greenish veins. And so my colors that look better on me are going to be for warmer skin because I have warm skin undertones. Gold jewelry looks really good on me, but I have a tendency to, for whatever reason, wear silver. I love silver jewelry, but gold really does pop on my skin tone. Okay. My skin tans extremely well in the sun. I don't burn a lot. I still always wear my SPF, but I do tan relatively well. Now, if you have cool undertones, then your veins are going to be blue. You are going to probably gravitate more to silver jewelry, and you might burn a little easier. So you are maybe going to be a little more pale complected. I am warm skinned undertones because my dad is Black, my mom is white, and I ended up getting, I think, a little bit more of my dad in me than my mom as far as my skin undertones. Okay, so in the chat, just let me know, which one are you? Do you have more of the warm skin undertones or more of the cool skin undertones? Okay. The thing about it is this color chart is going to show you on the right-hand side what colors you should gravitate toward when it comes to your audition outfits. We're literally giving you the playbook right here. Okay. So for me, I look really good in like these deep corals, emerald greens, even reds I look good in. Burgundies, I love burgundy on me. I'm not a fan of green, but deep green, jade, emerald green does look really good on me. And then for the cooler skin tones, you see that you're going to gravitate more to. Remember, I was saying that I don't really look that good in those paler pinks and in pinks and things like that, even though Sideline Prep, our colors are pink and my favorite color is pink. But it's not a color that I wear often, right? Because it doesn't look as good on me, right? So these are the colors that you're going to wear if you have cooler undertones. And so when you all are picking out audition outfits, you want to keep these colors and your undertones in mind. Okay. Also, so for example, if you have red hair, emerald green is going to look amazing on you. So that's another thing that you need to think about is based on your hair, what's a good color that would be, good for your hair and your eyes. Now, audition attire on the left, you can see that based on your body shape, which style of audition attire is going to look better on you. Okay. So I always did a halter top and I always had shorts that had a V in the front because I am more rectangle. That was my go-to. If you are pair, you are going to want smaller bottoms and you're definitely going to want the V because you don't want a lot of attention to go to your hips. Instead, you're going to want something that is going to bring and draw up attention to your torso to make your shoulders look broader. Okay. If you are an hourglass, congratulations. You are lucky because literally just about anything you put on, just about you're going to look great in. Okay. But you want to stay away, I would say, from really bulky bottoms just because you don't want all of the attention to go straight down to your bottom. But really, in all honesty, you can wear almost anything you want. Like people with hourglass shapes are very, very lucky. And then cone shapes, you have the kind of opposite issue as pairs, right? So if you have a cone shape, then that halter is going to be good, but then you want to make sure that you are wearing something that's going to make your lower section of your body look a little bigger and wider. Okay. So this right here, guys, if you like literally take this page right here with you or have it next to you as you're shopping for your audition attire, it's going to be golden. It's going to be key for you. So definitely make sure that you do that. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is really make sure that when you go to prep classes and especially when you go to auditions, that you pack appropriately. The last thing that you want to do is get to an audition and not have the things that you actually want and need for your for the day. So in the chat, if you can, jot down a couple of things that you would definitely put in your cheer bag. Okay, so throw those in the chat. And as I see those start to come in, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start giving you some answers. Okay, so go ahead and put those items in the chat. I'm going to wait a second because I know that there's a little bit of a lag and you all are catching up with me. But go ahead and drop those in the chat as far as what you want to put in your cheer bag. And as you all are doing that, I want to make sure that you don't forget to go ahead and fill out your total technique score sheet based off of today's session, right? So don't forget to go all the way to the end and go ahead and fill that out. So just so you know, for day 5, basically, you're going to take this top 10 list of the items that we recommend that you put in your dance bag, and you are going to get 1 point for every single item that you already have in your bag, that you are like, oh yeah, I already have it at home. I could throw it in my bag. And then if you have to go purchase it or buy it, then you don't get a point for that. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So we have extra tights. We have a towel. Snacks, and I won't be able to get through all of these, but I'll try. Water, makeup, a hairbrush, nails, coconut water, extra shoes, sneakers, good job, extra tights, makeup, shoes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good job, guys. So let me go ahead and give you all like our go-to list that you can jot down. All right, so this is the next sheet for day 5. So here we go. You all already mentioned it, but you want to make sure that you have extra audition and workout attire. So depending on the day that you're going, if it's more of a workout, anytime you have to attend whatever outfit you're supposed to wear that day, you want to have extra. Extra of that, extra audition attire and workout attire. The audition attire, the reason that we recommend that is because if you get to auditions and let's say you don't have a custom outfit, or you have an outfit from a company where people can purchase the exact same thing in the exact same color, if you see someone in your same outfit, you might want to switch it out. I know I would. So you always have a backup. You also want to have an extra copy of your resume, your application, and your photos. So you may have already submitted these things online, but just to be safe, what if you get up to the registration table and they're like, oh, well, we see that you're registered, but for whatever reason, we don't have X, Y, and Z. Okay. And if you have that on you, then you can just say, oh, well, I have an extra version. Here you go. Here's an extra copy and hand it to them. Okay, so extra copy of your resume, your application, and your photos. Y'all mentioned it, but you definitely want your extra tights. So make sure you have extra tights. This is a no-brainer. What if you get a run in your tights? You want to make sure that you have extras of those. Your makeup and your hair products. You definitely want to have all of that in your bag with you, because when you're sweating, your makeup will start to fade, and you really want to make sure that you are able to reapply quickly during the breaks. You also want to have audition inspiration, your hype music, your playlist, your affirmations, whatever is going to get you in that state that you know you need to be in. Okay. So some people want to go into auditions relaxed. And some people are like, all right, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. It's game time. It's game time. And they want hype music, right? You got to figure out what's going to work best for you and make sure that you have something to listen to, especially during the breaks. Now, keep in mind, during breaks, I don't want you to just, start eating and snacking and talking and listening to your music. You also want to be reviewing whatever, audition round you just finished, just in case they have callbacks. So don't forget that. You also want to have your dance shoes and boots. Obviously, I would have extras of all of those. So you may so for example, let's say round 1 is more of a hip hop routine. Then you might want to do your sneakers. And then round 2 is a jazz routine. You might want to put on your jazz shoes. So I would bring multiple types of shoes just in case you want to switch them out. Y'all mentioned it, definitely snacks and water. You want to make sure that you're able to keep your body fueled and hydrated the entire time. Your toiletries, deodorant, anything that's going to help you freshen up. Someone mentioned a towel, any of that stuff you want to make sure that you have to kind of wipe off and all of that. Your mirror, super important. Don't think that there's going to be a bathroom that you can run into. And if there is, there's likely going to be 50 some other people trying to fight over the spot for the mirror. So if you have your mirror with you, then you don't have to worry about that. And then last but not least, you want to make sure that you have your research notes, your documents, your PCP binder. So part of our Approach Your Playbook program, we have an AHA's list, and you have all of your research information. We put it all in a binder. And a lot of our lovelies will take their binder with them and just at break start reading through the things that we recommend that you remember during audition day. Okay. So these are all of the things that we want you to have in your bag when you are going to auditions. So total them up and let me know which ones you have. I would love to know. Just put your numbers in the chat so that we can kind of see how you're doing as far as the items in your audition bag. So super excited about kind of like you having that list printed out. That's literally your packing list on audition day. Okay. So that is all about getting Pro Cheer ready. Right. And the thing that I want to stress with you all is that it starts from the inside out. So you have to always work on your confidence, your mindset, those affirmations, your journaling. It also starts from the inside out in the sense of what you're fueling your body with. So making sure that you're taking your multivitamins, that you're drinking your water, that you're getting plenty of sleep, that you're eating, healthy meals that have half of your plate with vegetables, colorful foods. How you show up on the outside is a direct reflection of how you're feeling on the inside and how your body is feeling on the inside as far as its level of healthiness. Okay. So yes, the makeup can camouflage certain things. And yes, we can do certain things with makeup and our attire and all of that. But at the end of the day, you really want to make sure that you're building the outside from the inside first. So please, please do not forget that. Okay. Yes. Sadie says she brings her binder to every single audition. I've been called out at auditions by vets who noticed me studying and thought it was a great idea. Yes, guys, I'm telling y'all, so many of our lovelies do this. So wonderful, wonderful. Okay, guys, I know that it may seem like I sort of rushed through that section, but I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. We're literally giving you the playbook to pick the right colors of audition outfits, the right cut of your audition attire, and then what needs to go in that bag. Now, obviously, there's so much more to share, but we, don't have necessarily the time to do all of the things. So what I want to do, though, now is invite our special guest on. This young lady literally stole my heart the moment that I met her, not only because of her personality and obviously, you can see right now her beauty, but because of the fact that she was a mom, a very loving, caring human being that already has professional dance experience, but realized that maybe she needed additional help to get to the next level. Right. And so just a very kind person, but also a person that is very humble and someone that was very willing to take advice from us and our coaches, even though she was a professional cheerleader already. Right. It says a lot about who the person is from the inside when they're like, I've been there, I've done it. But you know what? I might need a little bit help to get to the next level. So without further delay, I'm super excited to have this conversation with Jayanti as she kind of comes on here live with me. Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
Hi. Good. I'm so excited. This is like my favorite session every year to do. So I'm glad to be back for sure.
Yes. And we always are like, let's ask her. Let's see if she
And I'm always like, yes.
Yes.
Of
Yeah, and there's so many reasons, but mainly because your story is just so inspiring, and definitely we're gonna get to that, and so people can kind of get to know you and your story and your journey, but also just because of your personality, your success, and just who you show up as every single day. And I know that we were kind of talking about it when we first saw each other. Your transformation, and it's perfect because I literally feel like this is a perfect day for you to be on, just in the sense of we're talking about the Pro Cheer look. And so talk to me about the new look you have going on. Your hair is longer. I mean, you just look amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's definitely been, a process of just becoming more comfortable. And like you said, when you start to look more or feel more confident, feel good internally, it's going to reflect outside or externally as well. So basically this year, shockingly is my 4th season with Ravens, and I was just like, you know what, I've already played with some things, like I had color in my hair last year, which I actually did like a lot, but I wanted to go back to more of like a classic look, but change it up a little bit with the lengthwise, and it was well received at Tryout, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, it's definitely been kind of, a process of getting to still, regardless of the experience that I've had or even tenure on the Ravens now, it's still a process of getting to, learn and understand myself and what looks best on me, like you said. And we've had a lot of opportunities to kind of cultivate as far as like makeup and glam goes, because Lord knows when I joined the team at first, I was like, what do you mean the makeup team isn't going to be here? Like, I need them for every appearance, every game, etc. And now it's to a point where it's just like I can kind of get, that look that's required in like 15 minutes or less, and that just comes with practice. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you look gorgeous, and just like these comments that are coming in, Lynn says beautiful. Malika says, "Oh my God, I love your hair, gorgeous." Alexis says, "Your hair looks so good, Jayanti." Sadie, of course, yes. Yes.
That's my girl, Sadie.
So, I mean, so yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people, like, so for me, that's kind of probably my Achilles heel is like the whole makeup, the glam side of things. I grew up a tomboy. And so having to kind of force myself into, the makeup and all of that was a little bit of a struggle. But just like with anything, the more you do it, the more you practice, the more comfortable you become at it. And you look amazing. So let's talk just a little bit about like year one, kind of how you brought your look, year two, just the changes that you made over the 4 years. I know that you mentioned you colored your hair or had highlights in last year, but let's start from year one.
Year one was more so of a process. Like, I feel like as your rookie or as a rookie, and I think this applies on any team, you're going to get some guidance as to what to expect if you don't have that look. So year one, I had this similar as far as like hair goes. It was definitely the standard black or off black. It was a little bit shorter than what I've been working with recently. And as far as makeup goes, we were given a hair and makeup training. We meet with the hair and makeup team at the beginning of the season just so that we're good to go for appearances and such. And we're given like little critiques and things of that nature. They didn't change too much. But I did keep the standard black for that entire season. My second season was COVID season, so unfortunately, like not much to report. Like my appearances were either virtual or I think we had a couple of games that season as well, but there wasn't, like I said, it was a very lackluster season, unfortunately, just given the pandemic. Last year was the year that I came in and, felt a little bit more confident. I was just like, you know what, I want to try something different. So I approached my director and my coach, and I was just like, what do you guys think if I were to, add some highlights in here? And I gave them a couple of pictures of what I wanted to look like, or wanted my hair to look like at least. And both of them were immediately like, go for it. Like, that'll look so good on you. And I tried it out. I actually really liked it. I had color in my hair for the majority of this season last year. I think it was unfortunately right after we shot our headshots that I made that change. So my headshot was like dark hair, but the entire season last year I had more of a chestnut to blonde kind of balayage situation going on. And that was like I said, it was well received. I was a big fan of it, but there's something about the classic, monotone black, even though sometimes it can get boring after a while. There's something in it that I missed because I haven't had dark hair for a long time. So this is my approach for the season. I feel, pretty confident and set in this style specifically. And I feel like, it's year 4, senior year. And I feel like this is, kind of the year where I should be reflecting, that level of confidence. So that's why I decided to go back to, this classic black.
Yeah, and it looks gorgeous on you. I mean, it really does. And I obviously follow you on IG, and I see even the confidence coming out in your dance. I've seen some of your heels videos, and I just see a completely different version of you. Do you know what I mean? And I saw that transformation in the Pro Cheer Playbook program, but definitely as each of these years go by and you being on the team, I'm seeing even more confidence as well. What do you think attributes to that level of growth by being on a professional team?
Um, Level of growth, meaning in
Just from
confidence.
your confidence.
Honestly, I feel that it really is all mental. I wasn't in a great mental space before I even thought that I was going to be joining a team, and it's been a working progress throughout. So just, taking care of myself, but also, having that kind of, it's going to sound a little bit artificial, but the validation, like I do have what it takes. I have made it back on this team 4 times now and things of that nature that have helped. And just, the community of the family that I have on Ravens with my teammates and such. Those people are there and they provide that pick me up when, I'm feeling, lesser than or whatever type of mental, demons I have, so to speak. So it's been a working progress. I don't think I've arrived, so to speak. I think there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. But I think the most important step is just acknowledging, meeting yourself and leveling with yourself where you're at, being real with yourself, just because you can't change yourself if you're not acknowledging that you need, that type of assistance somewhere.
Yeah, that very, very, very well said. And when you think about you said, and I love that you said this, that you're not there yet. None of us are, right? So we all need to remember exactly what you just said. Once you get to one level, then it's time to get to the next and to the next and to the next. And we should always strive for continual improvement, continual growth, because that's how we become better versions of ourselves, never settling where we currently are. Because there's always, someone bigger, better, bolder than you, and you can strive to continue to level up yourself as well. So when we're talking about the Pro Cheer look, I feel like Ravens definitely has a very distinct look. Can you talk a little bit and share a little bit about the Ravens look for those? Because I know we do have some individuals on tonight that are interested in potentially auditioning for the Ravens next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, come on over. Second of all, yeah, Ravens has a very classic standard. I think their look aligns most with when you have that mental image of Pro Cheer, the big hair. Side part definitely is always like a requirement. I don't think a single girl on the team has like a middle part or even bangs. The bigger, looser curls, but like the teased hair. And then as far as game day goes, we all do like a little bit deeper of a smoky eye than I have on right now, or actually a lot deeper. And then definitely always reverting to the red lip on appearances and game days. Some appearances we are allowed to have more of a neutral tone, but something that sticks out against your skin tone. But if you were to be auditioning, definitely have, the big hair like Texas, like we say on the team, or in the red lips would be the most big hair, red lips, smoky eyes, and you're good to go.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so, if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit. So, first of all, congratulations on year 4.
Thank you.
Because I know that you literally just found out like a couple of days ago. So that,
Yeah.
in and of itself is a huge, huge accomplishment. We had Gabby on last night, who is one of our Pro Cheer Playbook graduates as well.
Mhm.
And I think we have about, I mean, at least 6 people, at least. And I need to like look at the new, photo once it comes out. But at least 6 sideline prep lovelies on Ravens this year. So it's just so exciting in every single way. But if you can give us kind of like the Reader's Digest version of the audition process and what people can expect.
Yep. So first and foremost, we kind of reverted back to it this season because the past couple of seasons have been a little bit unpredictable with the pandemic. But Ravens normally always has, if not the first, one of the first auditions of the season, and they always shoot for that first weekend in March. Starting with day one or prelims would be the rookie audition. That will be there to kind of provide assistance, but they're not considered part of the audition until day two. Day one, you learned, I want to say, 4 8 counts. Prep class, you would learn 2 of those 8 counts, and then you would learn the remaining 2 day one of auditions. And it's a cattle call, just like most auditions. There's a bunch of girls that show up, and then you're assigned into groups of 4 by your number. And we have, I want to say, less than an hour to learn those additional 8 counts and practice them before they're like, all right, let's go. For those of you that aren't familiar with Ravens, we do have a stunt and dance team, and you're able to elect which team you're auditioning for on your application. The stunt girls typically go first, and they don't have a cross interference of, dance and stunt girls trying out together. But whatever group they elect to go first will kind of give you a gauge on how much time you have left. Sometimes dance has gone first, and it's just like, all right, let's go. So you would be brought into a room of, I want to say, a panel of like anywhere from 12 to 16 judges, and it's just always just 4 girls, and you guys perform the dance. Audition requirements are always doing the dance. I'm going to rewind. You walk into the room, you introduce yourself. You get a quick introduction, a fun fact about yourself, step back. Then you would perform the dance. Then you would perform a technical skill of yours, whether it be like pirouettes, turning, jumps, anything of that nature. And then we would also do a toe touch, display a toe touch 1 by 1 in front of the judges, and that's it. It's a lot of prep for about 5 minutes on audition day 1, and then it's a lot of waiting afterwards. And then if you are selected to move forward into day 2, that's when the vets enter the running for slots. So you'd be auditioning side by side with girls that were on the team last year. They typically add a couple of more 8 counts on that day as well, just to make it level the playing field. And it's the same thing, same exact rundown as far as what's expected in the audition room. After you're selected to move forward past day 2, you would be assigned.
Uh-oh, what happened? Okay, guys, I don't know what happened. Let me see. Y'all still see me? So put in the chat if you still see me. I think maybe something happened. She dropped off by accident. I don't see her in the stream anymore. But let me know if you all still see me, if I'm still here, or if we totally just went out altogether. I know there's a little bit of a delay. I mean, we were just getting juicy, right, with with finding out what all the rounds were. So let me just wait and see if she pops back in a second. All right, let's see what's happening. Okay, here we go. Here she is. All righty.
Sorry about that. I have no idea what happened because I could still see you too, and it just didn't show me anymore.
Okay, you're back. Yay! That's okay. That's okay. We're good. We're good. Okay, I'll let you continue. Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. So you would do an interview. The interview is more so just for the judges to have a conversation with you in person and, get a better understanding of your interpersonal skills. There isn't really any set format as far as questioning goes. You just be prepared for any type of questionnaire. And then lastly would be the final tryout. Finals is normally, I think since I've been on the team, it's been pretty aggressive. We learned 2 more 8 counts. So I believe that puts us at 8 total 8 counts of the dance. We learned that fairly quickly. We would go over technique and things across the floor, and you have a panel of judges that's literally just walking around with their little clipboards, stopping at each station and looking at the girls. And then eventually you do the dance in the same tryout format as you would at the first 2 rounds of auditions there. And then tryouts, or final tryouts, they announce the team immediately. So we have like a couple, maybe 20 to 30 minutes of downtime while the judges deliberate. And then you walk out to see if your number is on a sign. They don't call you out. They let you kind of see it at your own discretion. But if your name is on that board, you are officially a Ravens cheerleader. We go back into the facility, take our team pictures. We normally get a nice Ravens cheerleader shirt that we use throughout the season. We take a nice team picture that goes, I think it's so funny to see year after year the different team pictures, but it's definitely a tradition of finals. And then shortly afterwards, the season starts. I believe this month we have, or this year, our season kind of picks up aggressively in May.
Wow. And that is one thing, I mean, I say about the Ravens audition process is it's very fair. It's very thorough, but it's very fair. But it's not one of those processes where it's like 2 months long, or, ladies are having to wait hours on top of hours before they, find out, or you have to wait a couple of days before you get that email or something like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a very fair, quick, efficient process, which I know from all of our clients that have auditioned for the Ravens, they appreciate that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially, I feel like even with it being year 4, the anxiety, it's still present. It doesn't win, but it's still there sometimes. So I really couldn't imagine, having to leave and wait like for an email. This year we didn't have our auditions in person. Because of COVID. So we did do the virtual submissions, and with the virtual submissions, there was, I think, a 2-week turnaround on results. And I was just like, please just bring us back to in-person auditions. So it was definitely nice, at least for finals, to have that in-person experience again, and, that instant validation as well.
Awesome. Wonderful. And so I assume that you're having an amazing time, being that you keep going back.
Yeah. I truly, I definitely truly love the family-oriented experience that is Ravens. I feel that the Ravens have done, pretty good every season. It's not the experience that I had with Bills. So that's also pretty nice. And I don't know, there's something about it really that I haven't gotten enough of. So I just keep coming back. But yeah, it's been such a blessing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and the coaching staff there is absolutely amazing. So I've never Ravens. Sometimes I do have a little bit of regret because I wish I would have gone for the stunt team, because I did co-ed stunting in college, and I wish I would have maybe tried that before I did Redskins. But regardless of the fact that I'm not a Ravens cheerleader, former Ravens cheerleader, Tina and Will and Leslie, and now obviously Sammy Joe, who is one of our coaches.
Yeah.
They just make you feel so like at home, and like you're just a part of the family. So I can't imagine if I was actually a part of the family, how it
would. Yeah, no, I love it. And I love how close-knit. One thing that was really important to me too was I love how close-knit the alumni organization or alumni are with the current cheerleaders. That's something that I totally have been a fan of, just because it's important for me, because I know I'm not going to be able to do this, forever. So having, a family to come back to is very important. And yeah, Leslie, Tina, and Will are amazing. I love the, sense of like family rapport that we've been able to build, that I've personally been able to build with all 3 of them, even though Will is the stunt coach. Will, I think I told you this. Will called me out in my interview. He was like, you need to clean that double up. You need to clean it up because you kind of stepped out of it. And I was like, sure. But yeah, no. And I really am so grateful to be a part of this team, for as long as I have, and to, go into this new season because of them, for real.
Yeah, most definitely. I can only imagine. I mean, and here's something for everyone to note, right? So, Will saying that to you, some people could be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. Like, oh my, like, but instead you have to think about, oh my gosh, like a judge, and not just a judge, but a coach paid enough attention to me to want to
Right.
give me feedback. Like that's
Right.
how you have to look at feedback when you get it from coaches and stuff. And so
Right.
when you told me that, I was like, oh, I love Will, because that means Will is paying attention to you
Yeah.
because he sees something he likes.
Exactly. And that's the same, it's the same case throughout the season. Just because, like, for all of you watching, like, the work doesn't end after you make the team. That's when it really, like, kicks in. And I can, vouch for, 4 years later, there still isn't a sense of comfortability. You're always, like Janine said earlier, you're always working and striving to, improve. And throughout the season, you'll get that commentary from coaches, from alumni, from even teammates and captains. And that is productive. You want that type of, you would rather somebody say something to you because they're paying attention to you and want to see you do better versus them, just kind of letting you float aside or what have you. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful for them for that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so guys, I want you all, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw those in the chat. I'm not gonna, can't promise that we'll get to all of them, but we'll get to as many of them as we can. But I do want to kind of rewind a little bit. You had mentioned the Bills, and we haven't really talked about like your journey and what that looks like. I'd kind of mentioned, that you're a mom, that you were a former professional cheerleader. You eventually moved here because of the Ravens. But if you could like take us back
Sure.
and just talk a little bit about like your dance career, how you decided you wanted to become a professional cheerleader, and then what that journey looked like.
Sure. So I danced from the age of 3. My mom was a dancer, so there was no option there. And I grew up dancing, classically trained in ballet and modern and things of that nature. Senior year, I decided that I wanted, some more friends and wanted to fit in with, the social hierarchy. So I decided to try out for cheerleading for my senior year's football season. And it's so funny how that's kind of foreshadowed the rest of my life so far. And I just really enjoyed it. It was just, a different experience that I hadn't had before. It's a lot different than, ballet or even repertoire dancing. So yeah, there was a bug that bit me when I did it that season. And I kind of, didn't know obviously at the time what that was preluding to. But after college or after high school graduation, went to college. I honestly, actually, my freshman year, I will never forget it. I was on Facebook and I saw an advertisement for Ravens open call. And I was like, oh, wow, like that's amazing. I would love to be an NFL cheerleader. Like, wow, look at me. And, just thinking that, my own stuff didn't stink and thought that I had it all together. I did absolutely no preparation, except I did go to the prep class, did go to day one of auditions. And I think it didn't necessarily kick in at prep class just because a lot of this stuff, I like technique and dancing and things of that nature, I kind of had or felt like I had down, but it didn't really set in how unprepared I was until day one of auditions, when it's literally like Barbie world and everybody's glam is on 10 and mine was on like 6. And needless to say, I wasn't prepared and I did not make it even past the first round. Um, my first time auditioning for the Ravens back in 2012, which was the year that they went to the Super Bowl. So that's, a grievance that I have to this day. But yeah, so afterwards, I did a lot more research that same season. Thankfully, like I said, Ravens have the first auditions of the season. So I was able to go back home, go back to school and kind of regroup. Completely shifted my change of approach to our local team. Once again, it wasn't meant for me to make the team at that time because I had absolutely no plans set in place regarding how I was going to move to Baltimore in state. Like school, I had just started my freshman year. There was just no game plan whatsoever. And I really honestly, I was disappointed, but I couldn't be mad at, anybody but myself for not making the team. So I did, take what I learned from that audition and also did my research on the Bills, who had their audition that following April, late April, early May. And I was able to go into that audition much more prepared than I was for Ravens. And thankfully, I did make that team on my first try. I was able to do 2 seasons with the Bills, and it was a great experience. I definitely feel that, I enjoyed it. They don't have a cheerleading team anymore, but it was something that I felt like I could have done, longer term. But yeah, so I took a break from dancing entirely. I had my son, who's now 6, which I can't even wrap my head around saying it out loud. But he is now 6 years old, and I took off time from really cultivating dance in any capacity to be at home with him. But I really was not happy, and I'm not going to say I wasn't happy with my child, but I felt like I wasn't necessarily done with, um, you know, I've trained in dance for the past 18 plus years. My mom has put X amount of money into me being a dancer, and I'm not doing anything with it. So at that point, I was just like, you know what? I think I really would like to be on a team again. But I definitely didn't have that level of confidence, or even, I didn't feel like I was too prepared to try that venture just because, pro cheer and really the dance industry as a whole is consistently and constantly evolving. And like I said, confidence has always been something that has been low on the totem pole of what I consider strong suits for myself. And I think I was on Instagram and I saw Janine's average. I think it was a post about the Pro Cheer workshop that was coming along, and that encouraged me to just do research as a regarding, what the Pro Cheer Playbook program was. And once I decided that I was super serious, I did the little like questionnaire, like, yeah, I want to talk to you, Janine. Let's figure this out. And I was enrolled in, I want to say the December 2018 Pro Cheer Playbook program. And that's when I started to feel like, you know what, I can do this. And I wasn't too certain until we had the Pro Cheer workshop. At that workshop, I was given a scouted card from the Ravens cheerleaders, which was like, I it just blew my mind. And then I was also kind of passively recruited by some of the Redskins cheerleaders that were there as well. But I left that both the first day where it's the workshop, and then secondly the mock audition, just feeling like, you know what, like I remember, like it's making, like riding a bike again. Like I remember what needs to be done for these auditions. And also I have a change of mindset just because I feel that we talk all about like what kind of skills you can do, how you can look, but I think that the Pro Cheer Playbook program really emphasized the most crucial part of the audition process, which is often overlooked, which is getting into that mindset. Just because I really, like, 4 years later, and I can still say that the audition process as a whole is like, yeah, you have to be fit, you have to know your material and things of that nature, but it's really like more so mental when you're in a space of 200 women that are beautiful and can dance, and just being able to self-regulate and know that you are prepared, know that you brought your best self to the table, and all of that. It comes into play, like I said, a lot more than I think a lot of people give credit to. So my first audition back with the Ravens after completing the Pro Cheer Playbook program, I remember that to date, I was the most calm that I've been in an audition ever. Like I was just peacefully like going about the situation. I knew that I was, as prepared as I could possibly have been. Like there wasn't any sort of sense of regret or need for where I felt like I could improve. Or obviously, I'm not going to say I didn't feel like I could improve, but I felt that at that point in time, I was bringing my best self to the table. So there was no regrets. Like, either I'm going to make the team, or, you know, I'm going to know what I need to do for next season. So it was a win-win situation, but thankfully I was able to make the team. And it's been, you know, the best roller coaster. I won't even say roller coaster. It's just been the best ride for me so far. Like, I think it's hilarious how, you know, life, like I said, foreshadows itself for you. Like, me not even knowing, you know, at the time when I was 18 trying out for the Ravens, that a few years later down the line, I'd be, you know, tenured at 4 seasons. It's honestly insane to me how, life works. But yeah, that's my intro as far as that goes.
Such an inspiring story. I mean, like literally, I get chills like listening to your story every time you tell it. And I already know the story. And I still and then I also just love to share that one video that you posted, or you either sent it to me or you posted it in our private Facebook group. You were in
Yeah.
uniform, and it was it was either your first game or it was definitely your first season. And you came out and you were doing fan interactions and stuff on game day. And your son, who I guess at that time was probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And saw you for the first time in the uniform and just ran over to you. I just like
Yeah.
literally, what was kind of going through your mind during that experience?
So back when I was in the Playbook program, one of my buddies, Casey at the time, was telling me, like, I just had so many inhibitions coming back into pro cheer as a mom, just because before I didn't have any, you know, external or internal personal commitments that would, you know, kind of limit, you know, where I was allocating my time, whether it was more so to Ravens or more so to Malachi. So I had a lot of inhibitions going into the process. But she told me, she was like, if you want this, like, picture how good it's going to feel for your son to see you in your uniform. Like, picture like having your son and you being all in your uniform, and how good that's not only going to be for yourself, but how that's going to make him feel, you know, even down the line, knowing that like his mom went after what he wants. And I get goosebumps every time. That I swear that conversation I will never forget, just because that was something that I kind of zeroed in on throughout the audition process for sure, and definitely throughout the season. Just because, like I said, the work starts after you make the team. So there was a lot of work that needed to be done as far as like learning material and things of all that nature. And just thinking of that, like, we're so close to, you know, this moment. And that video was when that moment finally happened. And just seeing my son, and even to this day, every single Ravens game, my son is my biggest fan. And it's just like, I have zero regrets about coming back to, you know, pro cheer after having a kid, just because like it's so validating to have him there and experience this with me. He even said, like, I told him the other night before finals, I was like, mommy has auditions tomorrow, and he's like, please God, let my mommy make the Ravens. He said it right on his little prayer for me. And I was just like, I just love having, you know, my little bestie, you know, in this process with me, just because, you know, it's one thing, you know, to show your kids your pictures, like, look what I used to do, but he is able to, you know, share these memories with me. And that's just an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm, you know, again, so blessed to be able to share this with him as well. So yeah, it's surreal, but like I said, such a blessing.
For sure. I mean, and you said it earlier too, that you know, indirectly, you're not having to say it to him, but you're showing him that if you want something, then you can go after it and you can get it. You're showing him that as a mom, he can be your mom. You can be, you know, a professional in the workforce, and you can be a professional cheerleader and look all glam and gorgeous and beautiful and be a celebrity as well. Do you know what I mean? There's so many lessons that you're teaching him every single day. Time management, you know, prioritization of different things going on in your life. You know what I mean? And so it's so wonderful to be witness to that. And I remember when I saw that video, like literally literally, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am crying looking at him run to you, because I remember on our first call, you mentioned that about being a mom. And I told you that I have a special place in my heart for moms that want to go after that goal. And so again, I just commend you for going after it and then sticking with it. I mean, year number 4, like, hello.
I know, like, where does the time go? Like, it is so insane. Like, I was just thinking that, like, just like I said, with, that one season in high school, and even when I, made or tried out for Ravens and didn't, but like 4 seasons with the Ravens, but this would be my 6th season total in the NFL so far. That is just insane.
Yep. And it goes by so fast. Like when I think about 11 seasons for me, it went by so fast. And I almost like, well, why did I stop? I should have just kept going. It literally is like
it's like it's time flies when you're having fun, and it really is. I was just saying to one of my rookie sisters at finals, I was like, how did 1 year turn into 4 so quickly? Like, this is insane. But again, I'm just so grateful. Grateful that this is how the cookie has crumbled for me. I'm very blessed.
Yes, for sure. I mean, and one thing that you mentioned earlier that I want to touch on, and then we're going to hop in and answer some questions, because I see some that have already come in. You mentioned that, with sideline prep, one thing that we focus on is that confidence, the mindset, and a lot of other programs just don't do that. They focus just on the dance, just on technique and things like that. So when you kind of think about your experience in the program with the other members and, just the whole experience, what do you think about being a part of the program helped you to have and at least start to increase your confidence going into that audition?
So I believe like one of the first trainings, and I apologize if this is a spoiler, but like one of the first trainings in the program was the mindset. And that's something that I still utilize to this day, just because like learning that like you can be your own worst enemy. And oftentimes that's the case where like you might feel that you're not ready and you try to use other people as an excuse, like, oh, I'm not ready, but they're not going to like me, so I'm not going to try out anyways, because like we just do so much in our heads that things just like the reminders, like still to this day, I have daily reminders of affirmations to myself. Keeping in check, being like a gatekeeper of my own thoughts sometimes, especially to this day, to 2 days ago at finals, just learning to, stay out of your head and, revalidate yourself when those anxious thoughts do set in. And also, like I said, a lot of the confidence that you have going into the audition process stems from your preparation. You can't really necessarily expect to, be super confident if you're not, aware of what's expected in the audition. So learning what the audition process is, learning that, like I said, if you know that you're bringing your best self to the table, that's going to give you a semblance of, confidence in and of itself. And I feel that the Playbook program really helped me with that, just because like I felt like I had, a lot of different tools on all ends, whether it be, even down to application submission, my resume that I still, modify. I use the same resume every year. I just, update it. And the pictures, the photo shoot, like I really felt that, it was a full pronged approach to the audition process. Janine, like you said, you're very knowledgeable of not only the Ravens, but several different organizations and what's to expect. So just knowing that, like, I wasn't going into a blind audition. And like I said, Sammy Jo was my, she was my sideline coach during the Playbook program. Yep. And then she ended up being my assistant coach last year, or I shouldn't say my, but that was just like the biggest. I was like, talk about full circle. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to ramble on forever, but yeah.
But it gives you chills, right? Again,
yeah,
it's just an example of how the universe works in our favor when we're living in our purpose and we're doing the things that we know we should be doing and focusing on ourselves, our goals, and our own dreams. Just like how the universe, it like conspires to do good for us when we're trying to do good for ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's so cool that you still, kind of fall back on the lessons learned with mindset and confidence to this day, because those really are habits and they really are things, things that you can put in your back pocket and take with you for a lifetime. And that's one thing,
Mhm.
I always say about the program is, yes, the cherry on top is you making the team, but for me, it's helping you become a more empowered version of yourself, right?
Exactly.
With the confidence and the mindset and everything else. So let me go ahead and get to these questions. So first of all, I just wanted to pop up. So Barbara is on with us, and she's one of our coaches for those of y'all that don't know, and she happens to be all the way in Japan right now.
Oh
So
wow.
she is holding sideline prep and cheering international classes in Japan right now, and she just says congratulations on another year with the Ravens.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah, super excited. Hey, BB, so glad that you're on. All right, so here's the first question. It looks like, do you have any tips for calming your nerves during the interview process?
I think that if you really one start to do your research on what kind of questions are asked in the interview and start to practice those potential questions. And also, I would say like practicing with friends or family, what have you, just practicing, asking and answering. And also just leveling with yourself. Like, this is a conversation. They want to see if I can speak like an educated individual, and staying out of your head, like trying to formulate the perfect sentence, if that makes sense. Just I would say that when you're asked a question, take a second to, digest the question. Don't just spit out words. Formulate your answer. And I think that's what's been most productive for me personally.
Yeah, perfect. Love that response. And here, just like with anything else, guys, the more that you practice it, the more that you do it, the better you'll become at it, right? So in the program, we had like the 5-page document with all the potential questions. We had mock interviews. There's so many ways that you can prepare yourself before you actually get in front of the judges. But most definitely take a deep breath and just be you, right? Be
Exactly.
you. And if you've done your research and you know the team, you know the sport, you'll be able to walk in with confidence. So here's another one from Sadie. How is it being a mom and being a pro? How do you juggle all the things?
It's a lot. It's a lot, but like I said, it's a lot in the best way. Time management is definitely a priority of, I think that's for anybody, but just I don't know. Like I said, I really wouldn't change a single thing about, how life has played out, just because it is super rewarding to have Malachi, at the games, talking about Ravens games, asking when the next one is currently, and things of that nature. But yeah, it's just a matter of planning out your time. As far as, commitments go, you obviously have games, appearances, and all of the other practices, all the other time commitments. And then if you work, that's another, piece in the puzzle. So just, being aware of your commitment level and also what you're able to commit to is important to assess when you're trying out for teams, knowing what they're expecting of you, just because there are teams that expect you to do, a certain amount of appearances. I believe when I was on Bills, we had to do like 50 appearances or something like that a season. So yeah, just being aware, like I said, of what the commitment requirement is, and then also aligning that with what your commitment level or where that flexibility is for you. And then once you have that, general picture, just time management. Like I have all sorts of reminders I keep, obviously my iCal in my phone and computer, but also have a physical planner as well that I carry around with me everywhere, just because I need to see it to know that like you have something to do, you have somewhere to be on this day at this time, and also have the reminder. But I think it's just, important to, like I said, it just helps me kind of map out my days, my weeks, etc. There's a lot of moving pieces, so it's important to have awareness of all of that.
Most definitely. You're back up to the backup to the backup.
Exactly. Because if my phone dies, that's not an excuse. Like,
Super smart. Yeah, I mean, definitely, like you said, time management. And I feel like the busier we are, the better we are at time management because we have no choice but to plan and to make sure that we get ahead of the schedule. So perfect. All right. So this one is from Lynn. She said, "Hi, I'm curious of how much the average dance experience and weight size range of the ladies that the judges are typically looking for." And then she says, "Thanks so much. This was a great session."
Oh, thank you. So I would say that dance experience, I think this goes for a lot of teams. There's girls that started dancing when they were 18. There's girls that started dancing, when they were 3 or 4 or 5, what have you. It's not really, I wouldn't get too or focus too much on like how much experience you have. It's more so understanding the style of the team, the type of dancing that they do, and like I said, the little things like technique and skill. I know with Ravens, when it comes to skills, they look more so for cleanliness as opposed to like who can do the most fouettes or what have you. So I would just learn and understand the style of the team, and as long as you're able to deliver that, whatever team that might be, the length or longevity of your experience in that capacity really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I don't even really have a whole lot to add there. And it's the same thing got with the question about the weight and the size range. Every team
Mhm.
is different, but you have to look good in the uniform, right? So
Mhm.
you have to be fit, you have to be toned. I know for Ravens, it's big with they're really into athleticism, and I know at practices, do y'all still run laps and stuff?
Yeah, so we normally we don't do like the miles and everything that they used to do before practice, but we do run before practice and then we have CrossFit after practice. So it's like we have six practice from 6 to 8:45 and then have CrossFit for the rest of it. So definitely, and I apologize for missing that part of the question, but yeah, I wouldn't consider or focus on a number, so to speak, but as long as you look fit, that's normally the requirement for most teams as well.
Yep, perfect. All right, next one here. When you're having a moment when your confidence is slow, what do you do to boost your confidence?
Um, it's all about affirmations, and I think honestly, that process of mindfulness is almost, and it's going to sound silly, but it's almost a fake it till you'll make it type of situation. Like if you're feeling, anxious, or if you're feeling, worrisome, just telling myself, like, you got this. I have what it takes to be here. Like I did, I prepared. I'm, I have several different personal affirmations that I self have. One of them being I am worthy. And those are, different words that I or affirmations that I tell myself until, I start to believe it. It calms me down. It does help me feel better once I, regulate, because I think the practice of affirmations is you say them when you're feeling good. You say them when you're feeling bad, but like mostly you say them when you're feeling good so that when you say them during those moments of interference, you kind of bring yourself mentally back to that space. So that's the practice that I've gotten into in different or several different capacities, but most specifically at auditions every season. And yeah, that's always helped me kind of regulate. And then once I'm telling myself mentally that I have this, it's going to reflect, in my dancing and in my poise throughout the audition process as well.
Yeah, beautiful. So good. And I was like pulling up so I have reminders, my
Uh-huh.
reminders. And so these are my affirmations. And as you can see, they pop up at 8 a.m., then 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and then 5 p.m. So I have four that pop up throughout the day. And I try to at least say them and repeat them a couple of times during that, like even if it's just 2 times or 1 time, just repeat it really quick. And then I move on with the rest of my day. So you've got to have those triggers every now and then to kind of keep you going and keep you moving. And, like you said, like you say it, you feel it, you believe it. Like, and you may not believe it now, but the more you say it and feel it, then you'll start to believe it. And it will just start because your brain doesn't know the difference, right? Your brain doesn't know the difference. And the more you tell yourself, then your brain will be like, okay, yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yep, I am the same way. And I lost sight of journaling for a little while, and I just picked it up a couple of days ago starting this challenge. And so that's another powerful thing is just writing down your affirmations,
Mhm.
write them down and you're feeling them as you're writing them down and everything else. So let's see. Here's another question. What is your audition advice for those who may not be a technical dancer?
I would say, and that kind of goes back to the first question, I would just say that as long as you are aware of like what the team's requirement is, there are certain teams that are super technical as far as what they put out on the field. There are different styles. There's not, I cannot honestly or couldn't honestly think of a single organization that's the same from another. Like each organization styles are. So just study the style of that team. Like I said, prioritize learning how to execute that style, whether it be attending prep classes, just looking at even their material of what they post on either social media or YouTube of what their game day content is, just because that's the larger picture of what you'd be expected to do if you're making the team and what they'd be looking for capabilities wise and potential rookies. So I would say that if you want to get to that level, it's a matter of practice. Like it's never too late for somebody to start building technique. I know that Janine has a lot of resources within Sideline Prep, whether it be getting into classes. I personally started taking classes of all sorts. I know I post a lot of heels videos, but I started taking a lot of different classes after I made the team, just because, like I said, that's something that is a work in progress. Like I don't want to, arrive and think that, this is as good as I'm going to get. I'd like to, continue up that upward slope. So I've been taking classes, and that's something that I strongly suggest for anybody, whether you be on a team or trying to get on a team, just because once you get into the practice of, either dancing in class, learning choreography on the dot, and being expected to do, a combination at the end of class, all sorts of those type of things play in. You can't necessarily expect to not have those type of things in practice without do well in auditions. I think it's just a matter of putting the work in. And like I said, just being real with yourself, understanding where you're at and where you'd like to be, and then formulating a plan of, how to get there.
Yeah, that's perfect. And here's the thing, guys. The one thing that you need to do the most is likely the one thing that you're putting off, right? So in this case, it's probably technique. And so the more that you just push yourself to practice it and do it, the better you're going to become at it, right? So just kind of keep that in mind and go back to day one, because we gave you that basic must-have technique, and just start there. Just start with one skill, work on that one skill, and then you can move on to the next skill. Now, you had mentioned as well about how every team is different. You need to learn the expectations of the team. And the next question kind of falls in with that. How do you figure out the nuances of the style of the team? At first, they look all the same. How do you notice the differences?
It's a matter of research, because I think from the grand scheme of things, they can look the same. But like I said, looking at the type of content they post, their performance reels or what have you, and even I can speak from personal experience, vets normally aren't as scary as they seem to be. And it's like we normally expect people to reach out and contact us during audition season. So I promise you it's not as intimidating as it might seem reaching out to them. And I think the best opportunity would obviously be those prep classes. Most teams have at least one. There's teams like the entertainment team for Washington, and several other teams that have several, so that it's like this is what to expect, and making sure that if they have more than one, that you can attend as many as possible. If you're unable to attend prep classes, like I said, just doing the research, contacting the girls, just even just looking at things like their headshots on the team websites. You can see what the styles are. Like, oh, this team might allow more of a natural look, whereas this team, every girl's hair is curled to an extent, you know what I mean? So those are the different things that you would look for. But I would say that prep classes are normally pretty essential in just giving you a grand an expectation, or setting the precedent of what you should expect for if you were to be a member on that team.
Yeah, perfect. And here's the thing too, like as it relates to dance style, we always say, find the team and then learn their routines. So once you start learning their routines, you're going to be like, oh wow, well this team was more pommy, motion based, and this team is definitely more jazz. And you may not necessarily recognize that, but once you have to learn the routine, you'll start to pick up those differences, even with the style. So we don't really have a lot of time for any other questions, but before we kind of wrap up, I do, if you wouldn't mind just giving, oh my gosh, here's another one. Okay, just one more. I hate to not. Okay.
I'm fine. It's fine.
How do you, so this was a question kind of about heels classes, because you've been to heels classes and Melissa mentioned that she also goes. How would you suggest, or would you suggest incorporating any of the heels into maybe your freestyle or anything that you're doing from an audition standpoint without being too sexy for that team?
Would I incorporate, like, are you asking like the moves from heels?
Yes, probably.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just needed a little bit. Honestly, I think that your freestyle is your opportunity to be yourself and put your best self without, the confinement of whatever, routine they have. Normally I probably wouldn't go for what we would do in a heels routine, just because of the fact you're dancing in heels, it is like hard work. I'm not discrediting heels at all, but you dance a lot smaller in heels than you should be at an audition. And there's a lot of, there's a sense of confidence that I've gotten from dancing in heels, just because, like I said, it is hard work. But it doesn't necessarily pertain to the style of dancing that I would do in an audition. There are things like, hair flips and things of that nature that are obviously incorporated everywhere. But that's probably the extent of, heel specific moves that I would do at an audition or in a freestyle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. And this is all about, guys, knowing your audience and doing your research, right?
Exactly.
So I agree completely. There aren't a lot of teams that I can think of that like getting down, doing those sexier type movements would be appropriate. There are some teams that are still like including more jazz, sexy type material, but that's a part of your research and really understanding the team that you're auditioning for. And whenever you do your freestyle, you want to make sure that it is in alignment with that style so that the judges are like, oh my gosh, yeah, I could totally see her in the uniform, right? So there's that thin line, but I do agree, like going to heels classes, you do have to connect with your femininity, and you do have to bring a different level of confidence out when you are doing these moves that you would never do ever, like in front of other people.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And I will just add that, like, your freestyle is like I said, your opportunity to be your best self. Like, your freestyle is the one opportunity that you have to set yourself apart from the other girls. So if you're a great turner and there aren't any turns in the audition combination, then you'd want to do those there. If you have leaps or beautiful kicks, all of that should be incorporated, just because it gives, the judges a picture of what you're capable of before they see you in the style that they want you in. So I would prioritize that more than anything.
Yep. Perfect. All right. I've kept you longer than I said I would, and I really apologize. One last question as we kind of wrap everything up. I guess just any last parting words, words of advice, lessons learned, anything that you kind of want to share. Obviously, the majority of our audience are people that have not yet made it at your level. They haven't yet made it to a semi-pro or pro team. So anything that you would like to say to them?
I would say 100%. I always tell anybody that's, on this journey that to go for it, go for it, but also go after it with a tenacity that, you deserve to see yourself in, your biggest passions and aspirations. And I think that because you are here, you're doing the work, you're putting in, the additional research, is because not every single person obviously is doing even this. Like, it's a Friday night and you're here trying to learn what you need to do. So you're already, on the right path as far as, your development on your journey of pursuing pro cheer. Like I said, I think the biggest thing with pursuing any goal. And that's why I feel like sideline prep has been so helpful, just because like Janine said earlier, you achieve one goal, and that's not, you know, the end all be all. You achieve one goal and then you set another goal for yourself, where you set a large goal and you meet those kind of smaller goals in between. So you, like I said, I'm already proud of y'all for, you know, pursuing your dreams at this level. Be real with yourself, understand what work needs to be done, and don't let the amount of work that you may or might not have intimidate you. Just understand that in order to change, in order to improve, you need to, like I said, level with yourself and understand that if I put in this work in and stop making excuses, like I can, you know, be, who knows where I'll be, you know, a year from now if I continue to put in this much effort into myself on a consistent basis. So I always tell people who are auditioning that you really don't really know what you're capable of until you achieve it. Like I said earlier, I would have never thought, you know, even when I did the sideline prep program, that I'd be looking back on this years later, you know, coming back as a, you know, for in my 4th season as a vet. So I would say if it's something that's important to you, go after it, be tenacious about it. If you guys have any questions specific to Ravens or even the audition process, like I'm available as well. I never, you know, turn down any commentary in that capacity, but yeah, you're capable of more than what you think you are. So go after your dreams because you deserve to.
That was so beautiful. So perfect. And you guys, when she talks about excuses, like literally, we all have them. Excuses, I feel like, are the little devils of your dreams. Like they are literally like the little devils that are trying to prevent you from accomplishing your dreams. So you've got to like literally slap the excuses in the face. And sometimes, yeah, that's slapping yourself in the face so that you can move forward and move upward and onward. That was awesome. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you being here. You all can see her IG. So make sure you not only reach out and ask for help, but that you connect with her, you follow her, give her some love and support in her feed as well. And as always, just thank you for being you. Thank you for always being willing to give back to our community because you never say no. And I really appreciate it. And good luck on your 4th season of the Baltimore Ravens Cheerleader.
Oh, I know. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. And also thank you for being such, you know, an exemplary, you know, role model in, you know, chasing your dreams. I didn't say congrats earlier, but congratulations on your opportunity. And I think that's also just, you know, a testament that you practice what you preach. So it's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday night.
Of course.
Making this fun for us.
Of course. All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Yay. Awesome. I told y'all you would not be disappointed. Oops. I don't know why I keep going away. I told you guys you would not be disappointed. Absolutely amazing woman from the inside out. Thanks for all of the love in the chat for her. Just, you know, you all see again, another person that has gone through the program that is telling you that they were just a regular person, a regular mom, a regular woman, a regular guy that decided that they wanted something and they went after it. Okay. And if it's possible for them, it is possible for you. Now, I do want to kind of wrap everything back up because, you know, tonight was really about getting that pro cheer look. And I do just want to show you all a couple of transformations while we're kind of have a couple of minutes left here together, because I just want y'all to kind of understand and know that like how you're showing up right now is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's who you are. But that doesn't mean that you can't utilize the resources at your disposal to enhance the beauty that you already are showing. Okay. And that is with proper nutrition. You know, that is with eating the right foods. It's with fueling your body with water. It's taking your vitamins, right? It's getting enough sleep. It's all of those things, right? It's working out and making sure that you feel good and that you have stamina and energy to get through an actual audition process. It's all of those things, okay? And then it's also utilizing makeup and contouring and lashes and, all of those things, like maybe highlights, low lights, anything like that, to really help you level up your look in just a very different way. And so I just kind of wanted, to show you all some of these pictures, because again, it's a testament of what is possible if you just put a little effort into your overall look. It's a, testament to, yes, there's a before and then there's an after, and you may not know how to create the after right now, but the more you practice it, the more you work on it, the easier it's going to become for you. And of course, we're here to help you every single step of the way as well. And that's what we're here for. We're here to not only remind you of the beauty that is within you, right? But we're also here to really help you pull the beauty out in another way, so that you can see, and so that the judges can see the beauty that you have on the exterior as well. But it starts with you. It starts with a decision. It starts with you deciding that you're going to put yourself first. Okay. So let me know in the chat if this was valuable to you, if you had a great time with us. I really appreciate you hanging out with us on a Friday night. Just like Jayanti says, it literally is a testament. Right? It's a testament of who you are and how committed you are to your goal of going pro, because guess what? You're here on a Friday night at 9:30 at night Eastern, right? So great, great job, guys. I'm really, really excited. So really quick, here's a question that came in. What do you do if you have tattoos, special cover up or makeup? So you most definitely want to cover them all up. We do have, I believe, do we have a video on YouTube? I'm not exactly sure, but yes, there's tons of makeup out there. Kat Von D has a really good tutorial and tattoo makeup that you can use. Dermablend is another makeup brand that is really good with covering them up. But you want to cover it up, you want to set it, you want to experiment and try it out to make sure you have the right color of the makeup to cover up your tattoos. But I most definitely do recommend that you cover up your tattoos before going into an audition. So great, great question. Now, as a quick reminder, we are officially open for our ProCheer Playbook program. Here is the website, sidelineprepprocheer.com/ProCheer apply. We would love for you all to join our family. We have over a 70% success rate of our graduates going pro, and we would love to add you as one of our success stories. So enrollment is officially open. The application process is officially open. If you apply by tomorrow night, midnight, then you will be invited to our VIP bonus day. Our VIP bonus day is Monday evening at 8 p.m., I believe it is Eastern. Our bonus day number 1 is tomorrow at 12 noon. So don't forget, you can hop on with us tomorrow at 12 noon as well. And obviously, we want you to continue to tag us on social media using hashtag #SPProCheerChallenge and tag us at Sideline Prep for any pictures, any ahas, anything that you are getting out of this total technique challenge. Of course, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And then last but not least, I get to show our winner for our day 5 winner. So really excited to announce that Jocelyn, congratulations. I saw her on, I believe she is still on. You are the winner of our $50 Amazon gift card. So obviously, 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, you guys. Thank you, Sadie. 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Saturday. 1 p.m. Eastern. And that's why Sadie is here to keep me straight. But congratulations to Jocelyn. You are our day 5 winner. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for being engaged and involved, showing up live, doing your homework, and doing all of the things. We will be, just email us at info@sidelineprep.com, and we will go ahead and get over that $50 gift card to you. What a great evening. What a great evening. And again, thank you guys for being here. Really do appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. To me, the most important day, because it's mindset, and that is my jam. That is where I live. That is where I party. I love talking about mindset because it really is a game changer. It's a game changer in so many different ways. So hopefully I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. We would love to have you as part of our family by joining our ProCheer Playbook program. All you have to do is apply, and have a wonderful Friday evening and a happy Easter. Happy Easter this weekend. Super excited about the Easter holiday. You are welcome, Jocelyn. Super excited for you. Super excited for you. And again, congratulations to all of you. Just like Jayanti said, congratulations for showing up for yourselves. It's a Friday night, and that in and of itself says a lot about you and your desire to go pro. And we want you to keep moving forward every single day. Just take one small step. Don't worry about the laundry list of things that you think you need to do. Just focus on one thing, one day at a time. Okay. 1% improvement every single day. That's all you need to focus on. All right. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get stressed out. We're here to help you and assist you every single step of the way. And remember, like Sadie says, let's go. It's your time. It's your time, guys. Stop waiting. Don't live a life of regret. Stop putting yourself and your dreams and your goals on the back burner. Stop living someone else's life. Stop doing what it is that your mom, your dad, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend, your girlfriend says you should do. Start doing what you want to do. This is your time to go pro, and we're here to help you every single step of the way. All right, I'm Janine Samuel signing off for Sideline Prep and all of our Sideline Prep coaches, wishing you success in all that you do. Have an amazing evening, and really quick, a quick shout out to Sadie. Thank you so much, Sadie, for all of your help in putting this challenge together. All right, talk to you all later. Good night.